Hello and welcome back to another week of Sambo iRacing. We're back at Oran Park, this time for the Grand Prix layout in the Formula for the FF1600 for another track guide. If you are new to my channel, what we do is a hot lap and breakdown, and we're back in the cockpit one final time with the driving line on. Brake bias is set to 55%, and we are of course using the fixed rookie setup. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Let's start the hot lap. Right, let's start the hot lap. So smashing it down the main straight up to fourth gear. We're looking for the end of this green wall coming up ahead. As we get there, we're going to start our turn in. Then we'll do a lift, tiny bit on the brakes, through the first apex, down brake quite hard, out all the way to the outside, drop it down to first gear, on the gas as early as possible, up through second and into third, over to the left-hand side, braking at the marshals, dropping it all the way down to first again. Don't hit the inside curb, very important. Exit nice and wide. Looking for the tyres on the left-hand side, leaving it in second gear, trail it off on the gas before the apex. We're going to leave it in second as we go over the bridge. We're just going to do a lift, cut the corner, back on the gas, up to third gear. Looking for the end of the drop-off, drop it down to second, cutting the corner quite severely there, up to third. Little brake once we get into this dip. Again, cutting the corner, bit of a handful through turn 9. And we're just trying to keep the car as straight as possible or through the track. Looking for the dip again, braking hard, drop it down to second. Get on the gas nice and early, don't hit the wall on exit. Aim for just missing this wall, open across the line in a 1:08.863. Right, let's do the breakdown lap. Right, breakdown. Let's try and keep it short and sweet. So, turn-in marker is the end of this wall coming up. So we start our turn-in. Now, as we start moving across the track, we're going to do quite a big lift, but we're doing it gradually. Now, we do a tiny bit of braking here, only up to about 10% as we go through this first apex of turn 1. Now we want to straighten our wheel out, and we're going to brake in a straight line towards the a nice wide entry for turn 2. So we brake almost up to about 90%. We're now going to trail it off down to the apex, drop it down to first gear, and now we're on the gas, if you see, nice and early. Now up through the gears again. Next braking marker. So I use the marshals, or what you can do is look at this extra bit of track, this curbing on the left hand side. I don't actually like to get my wheels on this one just because there's quite a big bump there. So for consistency, I prefer to just brake on the actual asphalt itself. This time we're braking again up to about 90%. We're going to trail it off down to the apex, drop it down to first once we get there, and then start getting on the gas. So I'm on 100% gas right on the apex without hitting the curb. Exit nice and wide. Next braking marker is just before these tyres on the left hand side. So as we go through there, again, we're braking this time only up to about 60%. We're going to trail it off down to the apex, and we're wanting to try and get back onto 100% on the apex as I have here in second gear. Now that will force you out wide, but that's fine because we want a nice wide entry here into turn 6. So we're going to leave it in second. We go through the bridge. We start our turn in. Now we do a lift almost down to nothing, down to just a little bit of maintenance throttle. We're getting our right hand tyres just on the edge of the grass and mud here. And we get back up to 100%, up to third gear. Next braking marker or turn in is the end of this white curbing before it turns into yellow and orange, or whatever it is, red and yellow. So we do a little dab on the brakes, only up to about 30%. We trail that off. We just now have it in second gear. We want to really cut this corner, almost getting our right-hand tyres on the mud. We're flat out and changing up to third gear on the inside curbing here of 8. Leave it in third gear, but what we're going to do is make our braking marker just before we get to the curbing in this little dip here. This time we brake up to about 55%. We're going to trail it off, drop it down to second. We're wanting to get up to 100% as soon as possible. Now, as I say, a bit of a handful through here, so I had to do a little bit of a correction, but I still managed to get onto 100% at the curb. Exit nice and wide, so if you're going to go fast, you are going to be hitting the curbing and this extra bit after it every single time, which is great. However, if you do go too quickly and hit the grass, it's quite a difficult recovery without having a spin there. You will see lots of people spin in the race. Leave it in third. We're just cutting this corner, and again, this one and we're going to brake just before we get to the little dip here. Now the dip's actually going to give us a lot more braking power than we normally would have on a flat surface. We're going to brake up to about 90%, immediately trail that off, drop it down to second as we're about halfway through having trailed it off. Now we want to get on the gas as soon as possible, and we're on 100% nice and early on. We're more or less at the apex if you look at the track map here. And again, just make sure you don't hit that corner, that wall on exit and over and across the line. Right, we have one final version coming up next with the driving line on without me talking. Enjoy.